Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. The sun is in Taurus and giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. We have a fixed air sign and a fixed earth sign. This is the spring that is saying I'm breaking through the triangle that is existing here. Out. I'm breaking out. I am showing myself. I am establishing myself. And of course here it's the fixed sign of winter, of yes, the winter is here and I am up here like a star, like Apollo, looking to the right and wanting to go out into the world, wanting to be now like a star, shining like a star. And again, it's very fascinating. These are not people, these are planets here. Venus is ruling Taurus, the beauty and the love that Venus brings to us, also the morning star, right? Venus is the morning star. And then here you are ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is, of course, the new beginnings, the new energies, the changes also, because if you want to begin something, you need to change something, right? And so we see here two fixed signs coming together, a feminine sign and a masculine sign. And of course the story again is always about how they interact, what's going on. The sun and the moon have different energy, the subconscious, the higher conscious. And we're going to look in this reading what they want to tell you. For the Taurus energy, I made a movement in the yoga position. It's not anymore the two pillars. It's like I am going out there, I am connected, and I want to bring the information down. But I also have to go up. Willingly, I have to go up to receive and to open myself. So this triangle that's pointing up is always taking action on a spiritual level. And of course for you it's the star. It's kind of like side plank with one leg up. And you become yourself the star here. And the number 8, of course. Now I work a lot with the numbers. This is the 5 senses, and here the 17 here. We have the Roman numbers, so it's not the 10 and the 7, it's the 10, the 5 and the 2. And so we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Hierophant in here, and we have the High Priestess. And then all together you gain the strength to be a star up in the sky. So this today, moon in your sign, sun in Taurus, exists only once a year, but if we include all the other planets, this moment exists only once in your life. Now in your deck, we have the Hierophant looking like this. It's more modern, it's more accessible for a lot of people. Nevertheless, here are very important signs and symbols inside, and so of course I am using all sorts of decks so that I can really learn and understand what they want to tell us. As a court card, you are the King of Swords. Here in this deck we have a feminine and a masculine king. You can pick whichever feels closer to you. Is your birthday between January 9th and February 7th? This is your court card, right? You are the king. If not, look in the description below. I have listed them all. Also all the cards that I'm using, and also of course on what position and what they mean. You are the 11th house of community and technology, and you are, as the Aquarius, the visionary. You have visions of the future and you bring the new technology, and as such you are very important. Back to the last reading, we had Aries Sun giving Aquarius Moon the light. The sacrifice says, release the past because you are the star that you are. We had the Tower through Mars, and here we had the Panther coming and telling you to really step up and to really do what it is that you do best, which is to experience through the mind the future, bringing the new ideas, bringing new technologies, right? And also new ways of relating with each other, because you are quite a free spirit, right? It's okay to have a job and then to change the job and start another one if you don't like it. We not stay stuck in a situation anymore. We move on. It's easier to move on, right? Because Aquarius is an air sign. And so as such, you see that everybody can be a star now through the internet. And this is really clear, right? That we're going up into the air. So this just to the situation up in the sky. And today we're going to look into Venus. Venus as the connection to the Empress as well. Venus is ruling Taurus, Libra, and the Empress. And so here I have the Inner Wise cards. It's kind of like become your own healer. And I'm going to pick a card and see what healing modality is wanting to come to you and letting you know what you can do to heal. The number 76, these are very small cards. The 7, the emotional intelligence of the Cancer, Chariot, and the 6, the Lovers, Gemini, which is in the next reading, right? So already Gemini is talking here, and then also Cancer, the emotional intelligence that we need to understand how everything is working. And we have the animals here, and this is the salmon. Wisdom. Trust your intuition, and you will always find a way to be at home. Listen to your wisdom. Accept that each situation is an experience that makes your wisdom deeper. Is the time now? Is it time to come back to the beginning? Find the path deep into your heart and let go of shallow waters in your head. Complete the circle. Bring that which you started to an end. Wow. The 76 calculated together, we get a 13. The 13 is Scorpio, the 10 the Wheel of Fortune, and 3 the Empress. Calculated together again, we get the 4, the Emperor. So back to your last reading where the message was the sacrifice says release the past because you are the star that you are. So the salmon is bringing you that kind of wisdom, and we're gonna connect with this card again and again. So we begin the reading. We read to the right. We're going to your full moon, which you have in summer in the sign Leo. It's your opposite sign. And it's that path to your opposite sign that's going to make you grow the most. It's that, how can I accept Leo, right? But you will, the more you accept that this path, right, like here, understand that the salmon is bringing you to the beginning, and that the path 6 months to the full moon and 6 months to the new moon is the way I read your readings, right? It's very cyclical. It's very connected with what's going on up there. I'm not just doing the reading at any moment when I feel like it. It's like I am listening to what is talking up in the sky. And so we start the reading, and the Fool is saying to the left the pages of Pentacles, which is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. are letting you know new money can be made by working spiritually, by going deep. New money can be made, and dare to take that path down the rabbit hole and see that you have help with the 3 earth signs, and particularly Taurus is Venus, is beauty, is love, is also money. And so new money can be made if you connect to the young generation, if you work with the young generation. And so this is the message coming here through the Fool, which is connected with Uranus. And Uranus, again, like I said, is the planet of change, and you got to change the direction. And whatever the direction is, right, though we're walking out to the full moon, always remember the money comes from deep within. The money comes from things that you love doing. And so I think you gotta change the direction. Then speaks the Magician. The Magician is saying, then you see the spiral, the number 50, and the 5 again is the Hierophant. The Hierophant that is bringing you the 5 senses. The Hierophant that is bringing you the knowledge, the owl, and the child that is sitting here with this wise teacher. And you are learning. And the spiral within is something fascinating. And when we look at the spiral, it's kind of like making you go, if you turn your back to the outer world, it makes you go within. If you face the left, if you face the soul, meanwhile, of course, you go out and do what you have to do in the outer world, but if you do take that step financially into the spiritual realm, then when you turn around, then the spiral is here and is bringing you also deep within, in the way you perceive the world, in the way the magic unfolds here. And the 5 and the 1 is the 6. Then Gemini, the lovers, are coming. And so you see that this is Mercury talking to you, and the spiral is again and again an understanding that everything comes and goes, like the Wheel of Fortune, which is the 10 in your card. And you learn to trust that when you go out, you still learn to go in. And I wanted to see what is the spiral bringing. And the spiral is bringing you the Sun of Wands to the left. So everything so far is leading inwards and to the left. And it's a good sign, because you know that your strength is deep within. Usually in the old tarots it was the negative side. He's facing the left, it's negative. It's not negative, it's spiritual, it's going within. They made it negative so that you think that having your own opinion about how you see the universe, they didn't want you to think for yourself. They wanted you to follow the teacher. They wanted you to follow the Hierophant. And so remember here, he is the teacher here as an owl, and it's not a person. And the 5, the spiral, is like when you go deep within, there is your truth. No one can manipulate you deep within you. And so the Sun of Wands is, of course, the Knight of Wands, which is Sagittarius. And so dance, that dance, spiral deep within and understand how everything is functioned. Now, of course, this is the 9th zodiac sign, so the 6 and the 9 is the 15, and so here we have Capricorn. We already have Taurus giving you the light, and now through the 15, which is Capricorn, which is the devil, which is the attachment to certain energies like the 5 senses, only through the 6th sense you can liberate yourself, and that's then the 15 calculated together. The 6 is left. Learn to trust your intuition, learn to dance, learn to play with this inner world, because very clearly there is something here letting you know that at the end, here's the world when we close the reading, right? And you will see where he is looking at, and then your reading all of a sudden makes sense. Then speaks the High Priestess, and the High Priestess is saying, listen to your intuition. The 6 of Pentacles, which is Moon in Taurus. We don't have the Moon in Taurus, we have the Moon in your sign, and of course the Sun is in Taurus. So Moon in Taurus is saying give and take equally. Understand that she is always between the dualities. There is body, mind, and spirit, body, mind, and spirit. 6 and 2 is 8. The 8 is the accumulation of all these 3 numbers. The Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant, and the High Priestess. And so the 7 that is in your card, when we calculate the 5 and the 2 together, is the emotional intelligence that is here with the 7, with the salmon. So see that everything is flowing here with the water, the ship, and she's between those 2 curtains, and you learn to trust that the 8, the infinite symbol, is letting you know your intuition is right. It's leading you to the right place, because this is a very positive and beautiful card, right? It's like giving to those who don't have enough, and know that when you give, you always get new money. Then speaks the Empress, and the Empress brings you the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is the wheel that is spinning like our Earth is spinning around the Sun, but even around its own axis. All the planets are spinning in its own axis and around the Sun. And so here you see that everything comes and goes. The 10 and the 3 is the 13. The 13 appeared in here. The deep transformation we can take when we listen, when we watch, when we observe, is at the heart here, because she gives birth to the new generation. How do you feel when you go through transformation? You do it for the next generation. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the continuation of our species. And then the 4 is left. And so a 4-4 portal, right, is coming to you and is saying, well, Aries gave you the message. The sacrifice says release the past, because you're the star that you are. Release the past. The past doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, you're looking like you're looking into the past, right? But it's looking into the soul. And so know that and understand that. And so the 4 is left here. Then speaks Taurus. Taurus is bringing you, the King of Swords. Look at you. And yes, in this deck, the King of Swords looks different. We have a feminine and a masculine king. And you're the 11th zodiac sign. And so, as such, also connected to the 11th house of community and technology. And of course, in this deck, you look a little like grim, intense, right? So, nevertheless, you have to learn to understand that the 11 stays like a portal. I don't calculate that together, otherwise I would get the 5 and the 2, the 7, the emotional intelligence. But I leave it as a date, the 11th of May or the 5th of November. So you can pick which one you like, and understands that there you get a clarity in the way you work with other people, in the way you interact financially also with people. You have this clear idea and you're going to act upon it, because this is the financial situation as well, right? The banks and the institutions. And sometimes we need to make clear decisions. And so on the 11th of May, you will hopefully make a very strong decision. That brings you then the sun, right? Because here the Taurus is in the sun. And so you're going to get a glimpse of how amazing this world is. Then on the position of the King of Swords, which is you, comes the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords is Jupiter in Gemini. And so Gemini is, of course, also connected with Mercury. And Mercury brought you the spiral and the Son of Wands, the dancer, the crazy one, the one that is like, I'm gonna do whatever I feel like doing. And so you understand all of a sudden that Gemini and Mars is quite an intense kind of thinking and also a nightmare kind of situation. So watch what's going on here. It's really important that we always observe the way we think, the way then we act, the way we feel. All these energies are from the outside, right, affecting us. And so here the 9 and the 11 is a date again, right? The 9th of November or the 11th of September. And so see here again which date suits you or which date is significant for you. But also recognize that Mars in Gemini, Aries is connected with Mars, and you got the Panther in the last reading. And so the Panther is like, he takes action. He's like, he's not asking for anything. He's the king of the jungle in a way, right? And he's also Tantra. So there's a tantric energy maybe coming to you, right? And so see that you don't have to be ashamed of anything. You are a child of a higher consciousness, and you learn your way here through all these dualities. And that's what the Tarot is bringing to us again and again. We learn that the duality is one of the most difficult energies that we have to understand here. And so you need to learn to know that you have to love yourself on a mental level, because it's connected with the swords, right? And with Mercury, and it's the information that's in your head. Don't think like that. But of course I cannot tell you don't think like that. You need to do the work so that you start to really love yourself just the way you are. And then speaks Aquarius as the soul to you, and here comes the Queen of Cups. And she's looking at you, and she's holding the seahorse, and you see that she is slightly looking over to you, and she's like, love yourself, really love yourself, because this is Cancer. Cancer is the healer. Cancer is coming and saying, no one is looking at you that you think you're not good enough, right? Allow to really let go, because this is the 4th house of home and family. And so the 8 and the 4 is the 12, and the 3 is left, the Empress. The Empress is coming here, and the Empress was, of course, here the salmon that is bringing you to learn to trust your wisdom, to learn to trust that now you want to finish something, and when you finish that, you feel really great. And you see that the seahorse is literally like the only male that bears the children. It's such a fantastic situation that we could never thought of, right? That the male is bearing the babies and is giving birth to the babies. It's really crazy. And so it's kind of like an ode to all the men. Love yourself more than you think you can, right? Because it's like we sometimes stuck in the way we have grown up, and so there is something that she is helping you to awaken to, right? That you are not in this situation anymore. Then speaks the moon. The moon brings you here the dream oracle and the horseman, the herald of change. The number 30 is coming. And so the 30 came here through the 3, through the pages, which was pages, and the 0 of the fool was a 30, right? And so now you have the 30, and it's a horse going out. So from here I feel like now you're going out. This is out too, but more introverted out, right? And of course he is like looking at you and he's like, do it, right? Just do it. And so it's really interesting, right? Now we have the horse, and of course here we had the horse as well, right? He sits on a horse like this, and usually Sagittarius is shown like this because he's the thighs as the body part, and so he's holding the horse. He can hold that horse that goes up, right, to the sky. And so the 3 and the 9 is the 12 again, and the Empress is left, the 3. So deep in your subconscious, that's what the moon is all about. There are still some stories that you need to figure out, and you need to go out and discover it, because we have the Fool as an explanation for this horse coming, and the Fool is facing the Queen of Cups. The biggest healer, the biggest healing person that can help you is the Queen of Cups. And you're gonna be able to heal yourself if you allow to. If you allow to see the new beginning in the way you work with Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Allow the healing to come. Allow for you to understand, yes, I want to begin new, because remember that here the Venus energy from the healing modality, the Salmon said, you gotta go and go back to the beginning and end it, right? End what you started, and that's why you get now the horse to go outside. Then speaks the sun, and the sun is bringing you this intense energy. The sun is bringing you the bushfires, the fury, and the 10. The 10 is, of course, a very important number because it's the new one, it's the new cycle, and it's the wheel of fortune that is in your card, the 10. And the wheel of fortune came, remember, on the position of the Empress. So learn to know that the sun that is right now in Taurus brought you yourself, right? And so don't be furious, don't be too intense with certain things, because you need to learn to be loving. That's what this card is saying, right? Cancer is loving, and in an action way she goes out, because the 4 and the 3 is the 7, the emotional intelligence that we need to heal, but to bring the healing also outwards, and particularly when there's a bushfire like that. I mean, that's like intense, right? And so we have the 19 turns into a 10, a 10-10 portal, and 10-10 is like, that's it, you have an 11, right? And so you learn to understand that you need to take care of yourself, right? Because he came on the King of Swords, right? Take care of yourself, because it's important. 2 times the 10, if I calculate it together, it's the 20, and the 20 is the last judgment. And I wanted to see what is coming here, and to the left we had the judgment. So there is a 10, 10, and a 20. Altogether the 40. The 4 again, back to Aries Sun, right? See how the signs are talking. See how the numbers are precise. Because here we can interpret too many stories in these pictures. But a number, it's like, you cannot shake that. You cannot change that. It's like a 4 is a 4. And of course, you can see the 4 like this or like that, right? There's always two sides to a 4, but nevertheless, it's like clear. So the last judgment is saying, yes, take action, go for it, right? And there is also a 2020, so the 22 is then back to the Fool, which is the 0, but also the 22nd major arcana. And so the 3 zodiac signs, right, of Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are somehow coming up. And this is fire, and this is fire, and here you had fire, right? So here you had the Knight of Wands, which is fire and fire. And so here he's like the horseman bringing you the information. Yes, you gotta do this for planet Earth. It's really important that you understand that, because then the world is saying that the awakening is coming. And here we had the awakening as well. Now, this is turning to the left. She is looking to the right. And where is she looking at? Now you understand. Now you understand that he is offering the money, the new money, or you are offering through the young generation this kind of money to a higher cause, to a calling that goes in both directions. The 20, again, the earth signs are urging you to act upon the earth. The earth is burning. The earth is not in a good state, and we need to do something about it. And so you get the information that if you do something, you understand that the salmon, which jumps upstream, is here to teach you that any difficulty, it's not really difficulty, it's just like a test. And when you pass the test, great. If you don't pass the test, great. There's no one that judges you except yourself, or you think the others, and this is why you have this. You think the others judge you. They don't judge you. They judge themselves, and so they judge you because they judge themselves. And it's all about learning to understand that, learning to see that the light is going here to this money, this beautiful money of this young generation. They do new things. They want to do different, right? And so listen to it and take care of it and see that you can help them however you can help them, right? But also see that you heal yourself. See that everything is turning and everything is coming and going, and that the giving and the taking here in the 6 of Pentacles, right, is so beautiful, is that you understand everything has its purpose, everything has its moment, and so is this. And this is the end of the reading, right? You understand now why he is looking to the left, and I can literally say then the world will feel, right, that you take care of it, that you see that there is a calling, that the world is calling you to act and to be of service. And that's it. That's the spiritual message here Taurus is bringing to the young generation, right? They're lost, and of course we as a generation have done bad things, but we also have done good things, and so the next generation learns their message as well, right, that they can give them to the next generation. Beautiful reading. I hope I see you in the next. because the Mars in Gemini is here. Gemini came up also through the 6 here. Sun in Gemini. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.